Alright, so this is going to be my last video at Mum's old place in Browns Plains. It's been a while since I've made a video, had a few ups and downs and whatnot, but yeah, so today this will be the last video that I can do at this place because Mum's leaving next week, and I'll be doing a transmission service on the Fairlane because she'll be driving down to Victoria, so this is my last opportunity to do it. So yeah, it's a sad time, but you know, everything's nearly gone, and I might make another video about the closing up of this place, but anyway, we'll try and stay focused on the car for now. So yeah, it's just came back. Mum's just driven it back. I've got to let it cool down for a while. I'm going to put it up on some axle stands, and so that'll give me enough room to get up under there and take off that pan off the bottom of the gearbox, and drain the oil out, change the filter screen. There's only one thing I was told to be careful of with these is the grommet on the actual filter screen itself can get stuck in the housing of the gearbox. Got to make sure that comes out as well with the, I dare say, the original one. It's in this car. Anyway, I'm not sure the service history on the gearbox, but I've done all the work on the engine myself, which you'll see from other videos. And but anyway, yep, I will get it up on axle stands and I'll be back soon. Put it up on axle stands. I thought I'd show you this this filter and gasket here for the actual pan itself. I had one here sitting at home for a while, and it was still in good condition, but I thought I'd just go buy a brand new one. It was only $20 from Repco. This should only take me a couple of hours to do, you know, taking my time, not trying to rush it. There's no rush to do it, really. So yeah, we'll see how we go. It gives me some instructions here. I might have a quick read through that before I chop into it, but yeah, so that's a service kit anyway. So I have it up on the axle stands now. Just sort of left them on the lowest setting because I only need a little bit of space to get under the car, really. I just gave it a bit of a degrease. I made sure I got some bricks behind the wheels. But yeah, as you can see, just done a bit of a degrease on the pan, and next thing to do is get the actual oil drip tray out, and then actually start taking those nuts off. And then there's, I think, how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's about 10 bolts under there. I could be wrong. I'll count them and give you a correct number afterwards. But yeah, so as you can see, that's the pan of the gearbox that I've got to take off. In there, the filter is just held in by a clip, and yeah, so this is giving me enough clearance under here to get under there for now. Anyway, so I'll be back in a sec, I suppose, once that pan's off. Alright, over and out. So I've got the pan loosened off now, and I'm just draining it into this oil tray. I've only got it just coming out slowly, just so I don't run the risk of overflowing that container and then having to rush for another one. So yeah, just going to let that slowly drain out for a little while and see how that container fills up. The oil looks rather burnt and very old. I'm not sure when this was last done, but it's definitely overdue. Alright, she'll be back soon. Alright, so she's finally finished draining, and now it's time to take the pan off. I was just waiting for it to finally finish dripping, so it wasn't too much of a big mess when I finally tipped that pan down. So the next part of this video will be me showing you the pan off and what residue is actually in there. I have no idea what this gearbox, the condition of this gearbox rather, is like, other than it shifts fine. It seems a little bit clunky, well, not clunky, but shifts pretty hard in the power mode. That's why I thought it might need a service, because these older Fords have got the economy and the power mode, and but once it warms up, it's fine. So yeah, shall see how much band material is actually in the bottom of this pan very shortly. Alright, back soon. So I got the pan off now, and just having a quick look at it before I give it a good clean. And there's a bit of bare material, not a great deal though. Like, I've worked on gearboxes like this before, or serviced them anyway, and I've seen a lot more than this. So really too concerned. It's a bit, there's still a fair bit in there, but I mean, for the age of the car, it's not too bad. But yeah, so I'll just give this a good clean up now and put the new seal on it, and then put it all back together. Gonna have a little bit of a lunch break now, because that was the main part of getting that off and making sure I didn't spill any oil. The pan, as you can see, is almost full. Alright, be back soon. Okay, so I got the pan all cleaned up. After I tipped that oil out, I noticed that there was quite a fair bit of residue in these little channels here, and I didn't notice initially. So this gearbox looks like it's had a fair bit of wear in its life, but not terminal anyway. Hopefully the thing's only done 250,000 Ks. It shouldn't be terminal if it hasn't been thrashed. Anyway, I'm just going to put those magnets back here in a second, and then I'll open up this service kit, and yeah, just proceed with putting it back together, I suppose, and should be much longer and have it back on the road. Alright, over and out. Alrighty, so I've got the new filter in with the clip on. I had a bit of an issue with that clip trying to get it back on, the one you can see running through the center of the filter. It's a little bit tricky if you don't have enough room under here, so I ended up having to jack the car up a bit higher just so I could, you know, it's still on axle stands, don't worry, I'm not running it on the jack just by itself, but I just put it there just as a safety precaution as well, just in case it slipped. And yeah, so I've got enough room under here now to put the clip on, and that's all done. So probably just give it a little wipe down, make sure there's no residue of any dirt or anything in there, and then just put the pan back on and fill her up with oil. That's the next step, I suppose. Alright, trying to keep this somewhat short, but anyway, see how we go. Over and out. Okay, so just cleaning up now. I've got the pan back on. I'll just quickly show you that. Right, pan's back. Oh, excuse my phone. Pan's back on. It's all cleaned, all tightened up. And I'm about to refill the gearbox now. So everything looked in good order, and you know, the valve body and stuff in the box when I had a look. You know, for the age of this car, it's in pretty good condition, considering. Yeah, so that's all back together now. So I just thought I'd show you that, and then after that, the oil's about to go in. So it's the last step, I suppose. All right, see you in the next one. Okay, next step is to put the tranny oil in. Yeah, so the proper one for this, the BTR 4-speed mid-90s onwards in the Fords, the recommended oil is not Dextron 3 but TQ95. I looked up on Ford forums. So I mean, it's best to look into whatever model your car is and find out, providing it's a Falcon. I'm not sure what the Holdens are like, but generally it's TQ95 for all the 90s models and onwards. I'm not sure, because I know the AUs, I'm pretty sure they had an unserviceable gearbox, and you had to actually come through the front here and disconnect some lines or something. Actually, no, sorry, in here. And you have to disconnect the cooling lines for the gearbox from the radiator and actually pump the oil down through that way to actually service or even top it up, because it doesn't have the dipstick like the 93. This is an NC Fairlane. So I did watch a YouTube video on that, on how to do it with the AUs and I think the ELs, sorry, had the same sort of non-serviceable gearbox. So yeah, anyway, TQ95, just to keep that in mind for the Fords. Alright, see you soon. She's done. Just gave her a bit of a hose down and got rid of the degreaser and shit from underneath it. Just topped it up. 4.5 litres was all it took. Actually, I was quite surprised. I thought it was going to take more than that. Well, I suppose that's because I didn't do the torque converter. and so I thought, oh, see how this gearbox is going after the oil change, so I just reversed it down a bit and then left a couple of double peggers up the driveway. Well, that one was nearly off, but anyway. Yeah, old Fairlane still smokes up both rear wheels, you know. Fucking beast. Anyway, over and out. That's the video for today. Hope you enjoyed. Comment and subscribe if you like. I'm going to be doing more stuff like this with cars and music and whatever else I can think of, and try and make it sort of entertaining for people. Anyway, over and out. Take it easy, everyone. Laters.